Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yes, good evening.
I'm sorry my
Can you
Google
hear me?
Voice isn't working.
Good.
Yes. How are you?
That's okay. No problem. I wanted to thank you guys and say, I too have really been involved in trying to look at this Idaho 4 case. And I
Mhm.
want to thank you for all your hard work, especially Rory, because I did get concerned about you going and doing this reporting because of the real issue of what we see in our country now. And I know everybody, doesn't maybe want to realize how bad the fentanyl drug
Right.
crisis is in our country.
Exactly.
And it's huge. And I'm a nurse.
Mm.
So I am very
I'm sure
passionate
you see that
about
all the time. Yeah.
advocating for things like this.
Right.
Initially, when this case happened, you know, I thought of the drugs right away and money. And I spent
Mhm.
time learning about the cartel. I spent time learning about what's going on in our country with fentanyl. I think we all want heroes here, right?
Right.
That's how I look at it. I'm someone that my father was a veteran in the war, um, and
Thank you
I
for
didn't
his
want to
service.
look at. Thank you. Yes, I appreciate his service too,
Mhm.
but I didn't want to look at someone like, for example, when this first happened and Kopaka came out,
Mhm. You're right.
and my heart was like, I don't want it to be him that he was involved. I wanted him to be the hero.
Right.
I wanted him to be the one that maybe he's watching what's going on there and that he's getting information, part of this war that we're in with this fentanyl now that's killing so many of our youth in our country,
Has been
all
for
over the
years.
country. And
Yeah, for years now.
yeah, and in these hubs, like, for example, when Justin came out with Lana, and I love Lana, too, there's a couple people I watch and I get information and I come and I'm kind of an analytical person
Yeah.
anyway, so I kind of formulate what seems more plausible:
I'm just the
drugs and
same way.
money,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
or an incel, a
Mhm.
voyeur that's watching these girls, and then you get to the question where you're like, well, why four of them? And it
Mm.
just kind of goes against what I've educated myself right now on what this is about for voyeurs, and if it's one or two of the girls, it just keeps going back to the drug and the money, because the facts are there that that was a drug house.
Wait.
People have said this. Both sororities that those girls are in were in suspensions because I believe drugs.
And to say that it can't be possible is not
Xana's
you know what I'm saying?
mom, Megan's father and stepmother,
Mhm.
Doc Thrifty, when he first started this, I was watching him a lot. And I couldn't believe, like, he was looking at people in the apartments around where this house was. And he had, I guess because it was public record, he had a list of people that lived in these apartments. And the drugs that they were in, like addiction, it was like unbelievable. Enan Harsh, he even said he sold drugs at one point.
Yes. Yep.
Mhm.
So it's like, it's in your face. Plus, people wake up.
All the
It is a
ODs.
very huge problem.
All the
Yes,
ODs.
all these young kids. Like,
Right?
and then I started looking at Hannah Claire and Caden and the one boy that was from Washington State University. They're talking about suicide. I don't believe it's suicide. I believe that these kids were taking drugs, whether they had anxiety, depression, because obviously it's very bad in our society
Mhm.
amongst our young kids.
COVID made
So
it
they
worse.
get involved in these drugs, and
Yeah.
we're absolutely. And fentanyl is probably extremely addicting. And as a nurse, you
Mhm.
only give that in the hospital for
Yeah.
people that are going
Right.
under anesthesia.
Mhm.
So the
It's
fact
heavy
that this is
stuff.
being laced,
Right.
it's huge. And they don't wake up. They
Mhm.
don't wake up not because they want to die, because they're getting something lethal in
Mhm.
this, whatever it is, this drug addiction. So anyway, going back to the heroes, we wanted Brent to be a hero, and I still, part of me wants to believe He wasn't on the bad side of this. But I'll be honest with you, our veterans, some of them don't do right either. Like, I went to his Facebook, and if you look at the line he draws from where he is to San Jose, so I went and I looked up San Jose drug smuggling. Do you know recently there was a huge arrest with a woman? She's 62, former veteran, okay? I'm like devastated. I'm like, former veteran for the police union. She's a director there for smuggling fentanyl from Hong Kong.
From Hong
She's arrested.
What?
Okay? So what makes us not think that this drug's from California or coming from Alaska? Let's talk of that airport, right? Bringing it in, and it's going to all these hubs. But, you know, I think it is related to that, whether Xana or Maddie somehow money was taken, drugs were flushed down a toilet. People look like they might have been trying to make their own, cutting it to make more money.
Right.
There was empty capsules in Emma's safe, which as a nurse, I'm thinking, why would someone have empty capsules? Are they going to try to make something themselves? I don't know why Emma and Dee are out. If they're out, is it because we have some, and they talked about this, when you deal with drug trafficking, there's a lot of good police, obviously, but there's going to be a lot of corrupt police, too.
Wow.
Your law enforcement's going to have corruption in it. If you have sustainable drug histories like this in these hubs.
Right.
So whether they let them out hoping they're going to get back on the street and they're going to find more information, or there is corruption there and people are being protected, then it comes back to Brian Kohlberger. And again, he's another one I want him to be a hero. I don't want him. He survived heroin. He went back to school, got his PhD, became a criminologist. If you listen to like someone that was his friend, they said he wasn't a people person, but he wanted to go and make a difference and help through criminology and public safety. And part of me wanted to believe like he's going to do good, but maybe he went backwards around drugs again. I don't know. But and then the girls, like, are they the heroes? Are they the ones that said no more to this drugs and it's going to stop? And as a result, they ultimately lost their life. But it does make sense that Anna and Madison would be the target because of, and that's why 4 of them died, because you couldn't get to Xana that night without Ethan, and you couldn't get to Maddie without Kaylee.
Right.
There goes the 2 collaterals.
Right.
But the big question is, who did it? Who was involved? How broad is this? I don't think it's just Brian. If he did, I don't want it to be him. I want it to be more. I want them to be the heroes, but I don't know. And I just wanted to say, you know, one thing I love Harsh too, by the way, and just listen to what he says though. It's hard to establish credibility, right? And once you establish credibility, you don't want to blow it because then people aren't going to believe you. So that video I did hear come out from the very beginning. And from the very beginning, I never thought it wasn't real. I thought I could very easily picture that audio happening that night. Since then, like that Copac and stuff, I don't know if that's legitimately in there, but I'm not sure. Right. So I kind of,
it is,
defense, guys. I keep my mind to
right. The audio is like this. You know what I'm saying? You could sit there and listen to that audio time and time and time and time, and you might even be able to hear different things, you know? It's just trying to listen to it over and over and over so you can kind of try and make sense of what, you know, because everything's percentages in life, whether it's the decision of if you're going to go to college or not. It's a percentage of yes and a percentage of no. You know, are you going to get up at 6:10 or 6:15? It's a percentage of yes and a percentage of no. everything's different percentages. So you also have to listen to like this recording as in what is the highest percentage for each part that you're dissecting to what makes sense or what it appears to be. And then that's how we explore all of this stuff. So I 100% agree with you. The audio, it could be either way, you know what I'm saying? But it still needs to be talked about if it is real. And that's what you're just trying to find out. And I've heard different things from people. I've heard that the audio was debunked. I've heard there's multiple audios out there. I've heard a lot of different stuff, you know what I'm saying? So who knows? But at the same time, let's say that not everything can exist. Let's try together to see what fits with the puzzle, because we may not like the picture that the puzzle has, but we're still trying to put that puzzle together. And that's just what it is. You make a lot of great points, and I didn't catch your name. Can I have your name, please?
Sure. My name is Anna Maria.
Anna Maria. Well, thank you so much. You've made so many great points, and honestly, you've been one of the best callers that have called into this show so far. Seriously.
I really appreciate it, and I want the truth and justice to come out, because I think that's what we all are really. I think if anything, this case just hits home to a lot of us.
Right.
So be careful.
That's all we
are. Too, because like I said, it's a little scary, this world, and to people that are out there. So
I appreciate it.
Careful. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And please call
You
again
too. Bye-bye.
anytime. Thank you so much. Wow.
That was a great
like,
call.
Seriously.
Very,
that was like
the way it's supposed to go.
That was like one of the